Um, you want to hear the whole story? All of it? Like the whole thing? You sure? The whole thing? It's a long story, and it's still in progress. So I'll do the best I can, if that's okay. You want all of it? Okay. All right. Well, our character's name is Afia, and she is 12 years old. She goes to middle school, and she makes lots of friends, and she has lots of great relationships with her teachers, and she gets good grades. You want me to step it up? Okay. All right. Just calm down. So Afia is not just your ordinary little girl that's 12 and going to middle school. She is living a double life. At this point, she doesn't know who, what, where, when, and why, what she wants to do, but she knows that at home she is considerate, she is self-sacrificing, she is devoted to this religion and also making her parents happy, and doing whatever she can to keep her secret life that is developing a secret. So it starts very young, because even when she was younger, she also had little thoughts of like school was just her safe haven. School was a place where she could be herself, somewhere she could always have a reaction that wasn't judged or thought of as that's ridiculous. It was just a place she felt normal. And middle school hit hard for her, because in middle school you get to make more decisions. And that's when the relationship started to get more heavier. She was going to friends' houses. She was sneaking over to friends' houses, actually. She was cooking at friends' houses, going to the library, going to the park, taking walks, just crazy things. And the more crazier things is that her friends wanted to do sleepovers, pizza parties, just go on mini trips, and she could never do those things because the other side of her, which realized she was a self-sacrificing, wanting to be Jesus, or what would Jesus do all the time character. And she never got to do any of those things because she always had to put that first. And that was difficult for her. And it even got more harder in high school, because high school becomes more complex. You're finding more reasons to not follow order. You're becoming your own character. You're becoming more self-confident in your choices and your relationships and so forth. So Afia was definitely finding herself, but also her secret life became more intense. And by intense, meaning she was sneaking off to friends' houses, she was going on walks, but in addition to that, her brain started to grow and grow and grow to the point where she started lying. She started telling people not where she was, because that other part of her life was becoming even more intense and more meaningful, that she had to keep it a secret. In college, it hit hard, because there was this one psychology class that she took that made her realize she could become herself. She could become an individual, think for herself, be an amazing person on her own, and fulfill all the promises that she could make to herself. And when she did do that, it didn't agree with the religion. So Afia had to dig deep and really think about what she wanted and why she was doing it. Because the thing about psychology is it's abstract thinking. You're taking a step back to think about the way you're thinking, or thinking about thinking in general. It's a lot of critical thinking, but you're thinking about all of those things and you want to come up with the right answer. And sometimes there is no right answer. It's just an answer that doesn't sit well with everyone. So Afia did the most craziest thing ever, and the only way to get out of this second life that she did not really enjoy and she was not happy with was to write a letter saying that she no longer wanted to be part of it. And when she did, things got really, really ugly. So her parents, of course, loving her and wanting the best for her, of course, wanted to do everything that they could to stop her from going fully through with this. And she had to go to this place by herself and talk to them and try to tell them why she wasn't interested, why she didn't want to be part of this community anymore. And that was very difficult, because when you're in a religion like this one and you learn how to persuade, like intense persuade, and then you have 4 people trying to persuade you not to leave, trying to tell you that if you go out in the world, you will get pregnant, or you will be addicted to drugs or sex, and nothing in the world is good. But for some reason, from Afia's eyes, it seemed like that actually wasn't how it worked. The world is what you make it. And by make it, it's very, very complex as well, because making it does not mean going into the world and having high expectations and having this idea that everything is gonna be perfect. No. It is what you make it. Getting a job, finding roommates, getting to know your roommates, knowing how to buy quality things, how to food prep, and all of those things. It was difficult for her, and she had to do that all by herself. And of course she missed her family, but she knew that it was time to start her own journey. So Afia left this great religion and decided that she was going to do some self-discovering, and went on this adventure that she is still on to find herself and take the wheel and drive it herself. So I guess my intro is that I'm on this journey of self-discovery, and it's exciting because I have all my friends and all the people that pushed me to do this, to keep doing this, because the world isn't full of disgusting hatred and like all the ugly things that people warn you about. No. It's if you decide to go down that street. But if you decide to make a home and go on a street that you want to go on because you've analyzed it, you've thought it through, then it can work. So yeah, I hope you all if you know what I'm talking about, stay tuned, because it is really hard to have those raging thoughts of like wanting to leave some cult or some religion. But if you have some bold truth to yourself that you feel like it's time to leave, or you don't fit here anymore and it's like pushing you and urging you to go, I definitely am an advocate for being a go-getter and going after that feeling, because you only get to live once, one time. There are people dropping like flies, and say there's something telling you, or someone telling you, there's someone telling you that you can't be the person that you want to be. If you want to be the person that does everything, go ahead.